Federal court gives Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals the smackdown. I'm Tulsa attorney James Wirth. That's the topic that we have, and you'll know what I mean by that when I read a quote from the opinion. But this deals with the case of Gran v. White, and that was decided on June 22nd, 2023, and that is a McGirt-related case. And it's this circumstance where they had a request for post-conviction relief in the state court after McGirt, and then the Bossy decision came out, which basically said, we tried everything to try to prevent these convictions from being overturned. We couldn't find anything, so unfortunately, the state courts don't have jurisdiction under McGirt of Indians in Indian country. This is a prior conviction, but it's a subject matter jurisdiction issue, so there's nothing we can do about it. So once that mandate came out, Tulsa County and Judge Pretty started granting these post-conviction reliefs, and this is one of them that was granted. And that was granted, the sentence was vacated, the conviction was vacated, the person goes free, potentially to face federal charges if they're going to retry there, but for the purposes of this video, that's kind of irrelevant. So the person goes free, and the state did not appeal that granting of the post-conviction relief, and that was the end of the case. However, a few months later, we get the Wallace decision from the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals that does a complete 180 and says that we're going to ignore the subject matter jurisdiction issue. We're just going to talk about this as a new procedural rule. Therefore, we can decide unilaterally that it doesn't apply retroactively, and therefore we don't have to vacate all these sentences, even though the court never had jurisdiction to enter them in the first place. So then that was the Wallace, and that became the order of the law of the land essentially at that point. So then the state of Oklahoma is trying to go back and revive all of these convictions that were vacated, even though that was months ago. The case wasn't kept alive because they didn't appeal it. So they filed to vacate the vacation of the sentence and the conviction. It goes back to Tulsa County District Court, and the judge there goes ahead and grants it, even though very simple basic rules say the court has no jurisdiction at that point. It's a done deal. It's over. You can't just bring jurisdiction out of nowhere. Nonetheless, the court in Tulsa County did that. It was appealed to the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals, and I did a prior video on this, and they decided that we're going to go ahead and allow it. There were some very loud dissents in that case, noting that the court did not have the authority to do that, that this is a clear issue, the court lacked jurisdiction, you can't do this. But they went ahead in that case. This case here was then at that point appealed, brought in federal court on a habeas corpus. And that's the decision that we have here. And what it says is, among other things, second, the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals arbitrarily disregarded the crushing weight of the state law and its own procedural rules governing post-conviction review, and capriciously rested its conclusion that the Tulsa County District Court had authority to vacate the April 8th, 2021 order granting post-conviction relief on the demonstrably false premise that the April 8th, 2021 order was unauthorized by law. So federal court, this is the Northern District of Oklahoma, is reviewing this habeas corpus petition related to the decision of the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals, pretty much gives them the smackdown and like, you can't do this. Why are you doing this? And ordered essentially for the defendant in that case to be released because this is an unlawful detention at that point. There's a number of these cases out there that are dealing with these circumstances, but this is the first one where you've seen that it has gone to the federal court and we have a decision from it yet. So all of these different McGirt issues all over the place are slowly working through the court system. Now we know how this one is going, at least when it gets to federal court. So that's obviously where a lot of these are going to be going. There's other people in these circumstances. So if you've got questions about this, you're going to want to talk to an attorney privately and confidentially about what's going on in your case to receive specific legal advice on what you can do. If you want to get that scheduled with somebody at my office, you can go online to makelawEasy.com.